Radio is changing, or I think has to change with its consumers. People are no longer just listening to radio adverts or listening to commercials that are aired on air and phoning companies saying, well, now I need to find out more from the salesman. I think people are starting to actually Google, people are starting to do research before they buy anything, from as little as a case of wine at Macro all the way through to a brand new car or a piece of new tech that they're buying. They research, they know what they want, and when they go into the shop and they go into the business, they literally are going in there to speak the deal. How much is it going to cost me? What discount can I get? And radio advertising and advertisers need to make sure that they're delivering content, delivering opportunity for our listeners to hear an ad on the radio, but more importantly, to consume more about that product through digital means, through technology. And that's where radio is going. And I think advertisers in general are starting to get their products and try and associate them with lifestyles. So Toyota would be a good example. They've got the Hilux. They love the Hilux, and they know that predominantly men buy these vehicles. And those men, they found through research, are interested in motor racing or are interested in 4x4ing or going off-road at the weekends. The Dakar Rally is something that Toyota has spent a lot of money in South Africa sponsoring, and they like to associate with that brand. So we went to them this year and said, well, rather than just put spots on the radio, why don't we add more? Why don't we give more content? So yes, the radio is important, and yes, we used all 4 of our radio stations, and we sponsored or had sponsored sports bulletins which touched on the Dakar Rally. But in each one of those reports that we had from Derek Alberts, who I may add was traveling with the Toyota team in South America, he would go on the air, he'd give a snippet on air, a 30-second report as to what was happening in the race, and then he'd say, if you want more content, Toyota gives you more. Get to our app, the radio station app, or get to online and consume a huge amount of content that was being delivered on a daily basis and on a number of different platforms. There was a blog written, there was video, there was podcasts, and a whole bunch of other great content, which ranged from how Janelle de Villiers, the driver of the Toyota team, went to the toilet whilst driving all day, all the way through to what the people of Chile on the side of the road in the villages thought about this strange race with men and machine driving through the desert. So I think radio has the opportunity to expand on just the normal 30-second radio ad. Radio is not losing its relevance. In fact, radio has never been more comfortable than it is today in this new world. We speak to people, we talk about what they do every day, we share experiences, and that's what people do, is they multitask all the time. You know, I know that we drive to work and we listen to the radio. We quite often will look at billboards, and sadly when we're driving, sitting in the car, look at our mobile phone. We could be engaging in Facebook, we could be engaging with SMS and WhatsApp and so on and so forth. So people are multitasking all the time. Radio has the ability to create and talk about a certain bit of content, or certainly listen to their listeners who've created content and amplify that content and distribute it to more channels. And if you can start getting the advertising message across at the same time, well, all of a sudden you're offering now a multi-channel campaign and multi-platform promotion.